Someone who prefers not getting involved.
Retired military police officer Jack Reacher becomes entangled in a deadly conspiracy involving dishonest police officers, dubious businesspeople, and cunning politicians after he is arrested for a murder he did not commit. Reacher discovers during their captivity that Swan declined to participate in the plot and never joined Langston. Swan was framed as the fall man because of his disobedience, which led to his murder and the use of his harvested body parts as DNA evidence. After Reacher is successfully freed from the New Age facility by Neagley and Lavoie's security squad, he is able to board Langston's helicopter. O'Donnell and Dixon are let free when Reacher murders the last bodyguard and, as promised, throws Langston from the helicopter to his death. After that, the group goes to the home of the New Age engineer in order to ambush and murder AM. As the final loose ends, the investigators were expected to be killed by Lavoie's security squad. After getting a tip from Reacher before his rescue effort, Homeland Security agents apprehend Lavoie and the security squad. With Homeland Security covering up the crash, the investigators use a little wing missile on Langston's chopper to kill the two surviving New Age employees for their involvement in the scheme. The group divides the $65 million amongst themselves and the surviving relatives of their slain comrades before splitting up. For that reason, another roaring second season of Reacher on Prime Video has ended with a powerful blow, a barrage of bullets, and a monotone mumble. Fortunately, the show has already been renewed for a third season, which we Reacherites can't wait for. As we have all come to anticipate from the walking refrigerator, Alan Ritchson's dose of Dad TV came to the rescue once more, and in a spectacularly violent manner. How did we get there, though? Let's return to the episode's ending of Reacher Season 2. After trying to eliminate each member of the squad individually, Reacher's former Army United, the 110th Special Investigators, has finally located Robert Patrick's loathsome Langston. The man-slab has a brilliant idea after some reconnaissance in which Reacher and Neagley, Maria Sten, see some troublemaking kids outside the facility playing some great music and agitating the poor security guy who is merely attempting to carry out his duties. As Reacher turns himself over to Langston after learning that Dixon, Serinda Swan, and O'Donnell, Sean Sipos, are still alive, we are right out of the frying pan, which is most likely preparing a meal with 8,000 calories that Reacher will inhale and instantly turn into muscle, and into the fire. Like all Reacher enemies, Langston has to comment on the man's size, praising the magnificence of Reacher's sheer girth. Langston turns away for a second. And Reacher uses only his vibranium skull to somehow eliminate Langston's entire team before Langston shoots O'Donnell in the leg and invites him to sit down. Neagley snipes the guards outside and then orders Senator Lavoie's team to continue the infiltration after requesting a favor from the dubious senator in return for their help earlier in the season. As she does so, she engages in a spot of shooting NPCs in a barrel. She plays Jefferson Airplane's White Rabbit, a beautiful choice, to entice the low-wage guard back out of the gate while pretending to be the rowdy kids outside. Having repeatedly pummeled Reacher's face with little result, Langston is annoyed with this musical masterwork. Reacher is let free by the metal fastener he had previously hidden in his boot when the raid unexpectedly occurs. O'Donnell and Dixon strapped onto their beds, like the rest of the 110th who took their last flight from this helicopter, proceed for Langston's helicopter when he tells his remaining friends to run as his team is now outnumbered. But they're not escaping that easily. Reacher leaps as his sheer bulk makes gravity irrelevant, clinging to the chopper's wheel as he chases after it with the elegance of an elephant in heat and the arthritis of an 80-year-old man. It's completely amazing and completely absurd. As chaos breaks out on the helicopter, Reacher naturally prevails and frees Dixon and O'Donnell, but he also prevents Dixon from falling to her death by using a fantastic one-armed grab on the stretcher. Realizing that his time is running out, Langston offers some information, but Reacher tells him he doesn't need anything and lets him take a 30-second private tour of the New York State skies before everything falls apart. Farewell to nasty garbage. Reacher demonstrates that the pilot is aware of the best location for the protagonists to be taken, a conveniently isolated home in a winter setting, ideal for a covert assault, armed with $65 million in bearer bonds. Our eerie little middleman and armaments broker, Azari Mahmood, Ferdinand Kingsley, shows up to buy the little wing-equipped missiles that fell off the back of a new age truck and into Langston's hands. Unfortunately for him, a blonde rhinoceros answers the door instead of Langston. When Reacher questions Mahmood about his involvement in his friends' deaths, Mahmood dismisses the accusation, saying he was only acting as a go-between and that it was all business, even going so far as to say that firing a gun is disgusting. The pilot, who was only performing his job, and the scientist Langston hired stay in the basement, pleading for their lives, and Reacher is happy to let them go as they fly away in the helicopter, but only until they're over the Hudson River, because there are some nice new homing missiles just sitting there, and somehow, two completely invisible characters are given the most horrible death possible as Neagley blows up the helicopter from a distance. This man is an absolute psychopath and must be stopped, is what nobody should be saying, because it's too much fun. Homeland Security then intervenes to apprehend the backstabbing scoundrels after Lavoie's unit turns on the 110th, who express amazement that it took them this long. However, it turns out that Reacher has already foreseen the prospect of betrayal. Since Lavoie's journey into pure villainy for our amusement is nearly finished, Reacher takes one of their phones to mock him. However, Reacher is questioned about the whereabouts of the deal's proceeds as they are leaving. What money? Reacher merely responds, with the exception of Neagley, who is fine and requests some kid cereal. Our team, who are all bloodied, bruised, and battered, sits down and requests black coffee as we move into a slow-motion walk into a diner. Reacher then asks for 50 cents to use the jukebox, despite having $65 million under the table. Don't ever change, huge dude. A montage of all those who assisted the special investigators is shown to us, including the relatives of the deceased and Detective Russo's, Dominic Lombardozzi, brother and nephews, who each receive a check for the $65 million. Also receiving live-in medical care is Neagley's father. Neagley is surprised by the last one, but Reacher clarifies that he handled everything so she wouldn't have to worry about her father anymore. The huge guy keeps making everyone happy when he tells O'Donnell that he has saved enough money for his children's future to allow them to attend private school, college, trade school, or anything else they choose. He even tells Dixon that he has formed an LLC for her in Delaware so that she can select her own future employment. However, what has Reacher done with the funds to benefit himself? He needs a new toothbrush, then. And he's serious. After toasting to their absent friends, the party takes a final group photo before departing. This is a truly beautiful scene that serves as a reminder to the audience that, despite the show's absurdity, it would never function as well without the main character's sincerity and passion. Do we perceive despair on Reacher's face when he awakens alone in a hotel room the following morning? But it doesn't last long since Dixon comes by one last time with a toothbrush as a parting gift. Everywhere. Completionists applaud when they see Reacher's teeth sparkle once more. Dixon is hitting the road, but he wants a little more from her than just a toothbrush. At the bus stop, where we switch to Reacher and Neagley, Reacher admits that he has actually spent money on himself. The most economical man in the world has bought a bus pass that will allow him to travel throughout the nation for a whole year. How much money? Reacher is told to keep in touch by Neagley, who acknowledges that she is unhappy with the 110th's current arrangement of only communicating when absolutely required. She also reminds him that they are more than just his squad, troops, and friends. After pausing for a moment to process Neagley's remark, Reacher gets on the bus. He is seated across from an elderly man who asks him how he has been in town. Visiting family. That concludes our review for today, but the discussion is far from over. For more, leave a comment, hit like, and subscribe for more videos. Keep the magic of movies alive until the next time, signing off from FK Bytes.